we all know and love Tami and Doug. They've been around for many years. We know what they're, but we know a little bit about them through some stuff that's going on in their life. But we just wanted to learn a little bit more about you guys this morning. So, and you can fill me later. Okay. So tell us a little bit about where you're from originally and how you met. How long you've been married and your family and stuff like that, and maybe how you came to know the Lord. Just some simple things. Just for and you know I have like 45 minutes, so okay.
I'm Tami. This is Doug. I was born and raised in Fresno, so I've been a native, and my mother was a native too. I was saved when I was in junior high for Christ's intervention, but unfortunately I didn't stay on the straight and narrow, but I won't go into my testimony here. My husband and I, Doug and I met on September 3rd, 1995. I had been a single mother for like 8.5 years, and we went to one of those cheesy single dances, and I didn't want to go. My sister talked me into going. He didn't want to go, and a friend talked him into going. Well, he sat in my chair. He'll tell the story otherwise, but it's not the truth. And anyway, so I said to him, "You're sitting in my chair," and anyway, we weren't going to argue about that. So he said, "Well, how about if we dance?" So we danced, and I didn't want him to touch me. It's true, huh? So he asked me if I could relax a little bit. And he got me going now. So 6 weeks later, we were married. And that was 22 years ago. So he's a wonderful man. My children, I can't.
Okay, we got Miranda, last year from North Carolina. And we have Chessa, who is at this, as we speak, up at your trail ranch, 5 miles behind Human Lake. That's where she spends her summer, behind Florence Lake. Somebody mentioned Human this morning. And that's where we are. I came out of the Mountain House, Tracy, Ribbon, Stockton track. Basically, agriculture background, been involved in transportation all my life, so that's where I got started. Did a little bit of academia mania after my service, which was 59 through 63, and then I have 2 children from my first marriage. I have a daughter who's locally. I have a son who's in the Auburn area. In between us, yours, mine, and ours, we have 10 grandchildren, or 9. And then get close to the great-grandchildren. So, pretty simple. I've been involved in transportation for 10 years, with the state.
16 minutes.
Did missionary volunteering in a couple of buildings in the Middle East when I was there. And did some sporadic work occasionally. And then finally, 20 years ago, 21 years ago, Tami and I both were full-time commitments together. One of the better decisions I made. She's the second. And it's her fault because she didn't take my chair.
Hey guys, thank you very much for doing that.
Ed, can you go turn the board around?
Well, thank you for allowing me to do that once in a while. Everybody, whenever I ask them to come up here, they all have their eyes about that big around going, what are you doing? But it's fun. Everybody's going to get picked on eventually. So Jeremy Nice to have you this morning. You ready? All right, come on down.
Hey, good morning. Let's split these up. Maybe I didn't bring enough. Good to be back with you again. I come back about every 2 years, so hopefully I look familiar. Last time you were here, my wife and I were sharing with you about a ministry in France that was broadcasting gospel programming to the countries of North Africa in Arabic. And so we went to France and we did that for over a year. But sadly, even though the station had been running for 5 years, and the ministry essentially fell apart, and we were a bit stranded. And I was familiar with this theological seminary called Tyndale. It was actually started by a hub start by President Art Johnson, and so it's had this great reputation as one of the solid evangelical schools in Europe to train up future pastors and evangelical leaders. So anyways, I applied with them, and to my great surprise, they were interested in taking me on. And that was a blessing, answer to prayer. But it's a new country, so it's located in the Netherlands. And so if you're ever passing through, we're like 5 minutes from the airport. It's called Schiphol. Give us a call and we'll go pick you up. Willie did it, and he was just... Actually, I dropped him at the airport. So, yeah, I just want to share a bit about the ministry. It's located in Amsterdam, and we have about 100 students. They're not Dutch nationals, they're internationals from all over the world. About a third from Africa, a third from Asia, and a third European. The school started to focus on the European continent, but over time we were getting less applicants from Europe, and so we opened it up to the world. Because we're all missionaries, because we all raise our support, even the president of the school, we're able to keep costs extremely low, and we're able to offer scholarships to most of all of our students, which is really awesome. And we even give them a stipend, $30 a month, so, and they have all their food taken care of. So we're able to fly in these applicants from Africa. They show promise. They have a bachelor's degree, often from a Bible school. They show a history of leadership, and we're able to bless them and bring them in. And for 2 years, 2 or 3 years, they can study with us without any worries. Yeah. Billy Graham Foundation was one of the first organizations to get Tyndale started. But over time, actually, they've fallen off, and other funders have come on board to help enable this program, the scholarship program. So last semester, I taught New Testament survey, which was a lot of fun. I had about 13 students. One of my students was a guy named Ottavio from Italy, and he had a really awesome story I just wanted to share with you. Ottavio was Catholic background, was going through university, and encountered an American missionary preaching in Italian on campus. And as I wouldn't say devout Catholic, but a nominal Catholic, for some reason he felt like he needed to defend his faith in the presence of this evangelical. So he starts hackling this evangelist, saying, "What are you doing here? Go back to your country. We don't need you." He sounds exactly like that. And, but they were able to engage in dialogue, and when the missionary challenged him with Scripture, the tenets of the Catholic faith, the Pope, and prayers to Mary, he starts searching the Scripture for the first time in his life, and actually he can't find any of these core doctrines. So he was challenged, and there's more to the story. I mean, he was his life was not a reflection of piety, let's say. He was living with someone, he was addicted to pornography. And but eventually the gospel got a hold of his life. And these missionaries that he was making fun of were suddenly his friends. And he started attending one of their churches and got baptized. And eventually his parents found out. And their family being so Catholic, it didn't matter if his life, was addicted to porn or living with someone, that didn't matter. But if he became a Christian, if he became an evangelical, no, that's not acceptable. Yes, he has to be kicked out. And that's what they did. He got so bad he had to leave his own home. And so he moves to another city, and he's got no place to stay. He starts sleeping on the missionary's couch. He's thinking, I'll try and find a job. I don't know if you know about the economic situation in Italy, but it's not very good. So one week turns into several weeks, turns into months, and he still can't find a job. He's looking strong. He's very diligent, extremely intelligent. And eventually he heard about scholarship programs through the university. You get a master's degree, you can get a stipend to live off of. And so his newfound passion for his faith and the history of his faith and the Protestant Reformation, he started just immersing himself in these things, and he wanted to study these things. But how could he? He's in a Catholic country. But he tries. So he goes to the university. He submits a proposal to study sociology during the Protestant Reformation, and I can't remember exactly, but praise God, it's approved. And now he can live, get the stipend to live and study the faith that he's become so dear to him. 2 years later, he meets the president of our school. His name is Mark Valia, president of Tyndale, and he is trying to put the word out for interested students. We have a scholarship available. You can come and study with us 2 or 3 years, get a master's degree, and pursue your calling to the Church of God in Europe. And so he did. He applied. Of course, he was accepted, and he was my student last year. Praise God, he's pursuing that calling. Really, one of my best students, really smart. So that's just one example of our many students. We have, like I said, several from Africa as well. And I don't know if you're familiar, but in Africa, we have a lot of people that are influenced by the prosperity gospel and the charismatic movement. And basically every single student from Africa who comes to us comes with this mindset. And so it's one of our goals through their time with us to challenge these things from Scripture. Is this biblical? Where is this coming from? What I hear from my Nigerian friend, he tells me the richest pastor in the world is in Nigeria. He's got a multi-million-dollar mansion. Apparently, he has his own private jet. And they come to us with this mindset that this is acceptable, that this is what a blessed preacher of God does, right? And so instead of helping the poor, they're extorting the poor, right? The exact opposite of what the gospel is supposed to be about. True religion is helping the widow, the orphan, and modeling humility and moderation, right? So we find this very tragic, and we're happy to report that almost basically every student that graduates from Tyndale comes with a very different perspective. And these are going to be the future teachers at the seminaries in Africa. There's actually quite a number of Bible schools in Africa, and so they often get an education within their denomination. But in order to be a teacher at one of these schools, of course, they should have a broader perspective. So that's when they come to us. We're able to provide that, and then they can go back to these Bible schools, and hopefully their impact and their theology can increase exponentially to affect Africa for the good. Yeah. Got to ask when my time's up. Because rushing from the service here, so good. All right. Well, I just wanted to share a quick devotion. My specialty is actually in the Old Testament. I graduated from Trinity Evangelical Community School in Chicago. And I love reading Hebrew. I teach Hebrew. That's one of the classes that I teach. And you all know your Bibles pretty well. Genesis, book of beginnings, book of prophets. One of the things that really I like to talk about in my classes is looking at the prophets. What is it that they have in common? You have Enoch and Noah and Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. According to the text of Genesis, they actually only share one thing in common. Does anyone know what it is?
They walked with God.
Very good, very good. Yeah, the Enoch is the hint, because we only have 2 verses about Enoch, right? He walked with God, he was no more. Right. Yeah, but it actually says that about every single one. It also says it about Noah. And in Genesis 48, when Jacob is blessing the sons of Joseph, he says, the God before whom Abraham and Isaac walked. Now what's interesting is in Hebrew, there's actually 2 ways to communicate walking. You have walking from point A to point B, and that's what you have 95% of the time. And then you have a different sort of walking, and it's reflexive for my linguists out there. You guys who know Spanish, you bathe yourself, right? In Spanish, that's how you communicate it. You don't say I take a bath, you say I bathe myself. That's called reflexive or iterative. And actually, every single one of these verses that talks about walking with God, they're iterative. It's something like going back and forth. You can even translate it like taking a stroll with God. And you know what? We still have this metaphor today. We talk about how's your walk, right? And that's just a way of talking about our relationship with God. And I find it so awesome that here it is, in the very beginning, it's talking about a relationship. God's walking in the garden has the exact same verb, wanting to relate and be with Adam. And when I look at the other religions of the ancient Near East, look at Babylonian and Egyptian and Assyrian, I actually don't see that anywhere. The idea that man could walk with Marduk or Ra. These are gods to be feared, gods to be sacrificed to. That God wants to relate to us. Now the question is, of course, how do we relate to God? How do we walk with God? Well, I think Jesus answers that question when the lawyer comes to him and asks, Lord, what is the greatest commandment? And he answers from Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. I think he's expounding on what that means to walk with God. So that means loving God with your whole being. And he goes on, says, the second commandment is like it. I think they're really inseparable, like 2 sides of the same coin. What's the second commandment? Love your neighbor as yourself. That's right. Because you can't love God and hate your neighbor, right? In fact, an expression of loving God is loving my neighbor. Historically, Christians have been the people of 3 books, right? The people of the Bible, and the people of the hymnal. We used to actually buy hymnals, take them home, and have family worship together. And the 3rd book has been all but forgotten on us. But it was a book of prayer. And the way they wrote these books of prayers, they would have 30 days. Each day has 2 prayers, a morning prayer and an evening prayer, and then a portion of scripture to meditate on. But the idea was to teach us how to walk with God. In this day and age, that seems so unauthentic, right? Why would I pray a prayer that I haven't thought? Why would I express feelings that I might not feel at the moment? But I think prayer and walking with God is really something that's taught, just like you taught to study the Bible. And that's part of our, definitely a main goal at Tyndale, is to model what it means to walk with God to our students. And I've been learning actually from people in the past, from this pastor, Dr. Barclay. He wrote this prayer book. It's called The Plain Man's Book of Prayers. And it's really been touching my heart and teaching me how to think about my relationship with God, my walk with God. I want to share with you his prayer for day 3. I thought was fascinating. It says, "O God, our Father, who has bidden us to live in fellowship with one another, keep us from everything which would make us difficult to live with today. Help us never, thoughtlessly or deliberately, to speak in such a way that would hurt another's feelings or wound another's heart. Keep us from all the impatience, from all irritability, from a temper which is too quick. Keep us from eyes which are focused to find fault, and from a tongue which is tuned to criticize. Keep us from being touchy and quick to take offense and slow to forget it. Help us not to be stubborn and obstinate. And keep us from selfishness which can see nothing but its own point of view, which wants nothing but its own way. Grant unto us all through this day something of the grace and beauty which shone upon our blessed Lord. Hear this our prayer for thy love's sake. Amen." And I was really struck by the wisdom and the maturity of this prayer. And I thought, I really wish I prayed prayers like this. And so the question is, how do I become someone who prays prayers like this? Well, that's the point of our prayer book, is to meditate on it and read it over and over. Here, there's 30 days, right? So you do it 12 times a year. I find it really just the essence of maturity to get out of yourself, right? And to think about that God has placed me here to love those closest to me. The ones who I'm so quick to be irritable with, so quick to take offense at. So we just need that daily reminder, that daily meditation that it's not about me. I'm called here for a purpose. I'm called here to walk with God and to love my neighbor. Because loving my neighbor is what it means to love God. A big part of what it means to love God. Good. I really enjoyed the pastor's sermon today, focusing or looking at how our phones are changing us, and I really think that's actually the big challenge of coming out of ourselves. You know, and instead of looking outward, we're just looking inward at ourselves and our friends and our needs and what entertains us. And it's the challenge of our generation, really, is to think about how to be managers of distraction, managers of entertainment, so that we can focus on the people God's put in our lives. Really good book came out recently called 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You by John Piper's ministry. Super interesting. It's really just a theology of dealing with distraction and entertainment. So I highly recommend that. All right. Thank you for letting me speak with you this morning. It's a pleasure being with you. A few details about us. We're here in town for another 2 weeks. If you want to get together, we're happy to be with you. Susie. We'll be in the back. If you want to chit chat a bit. Thanks for being with us. Yeah, thanks. You can play the video. Susie is homeschooling, and the Dutch are interesting. We don't mind actually putting them in Dutch school, but the way the law is written, you can't take the kids out once they're in, and so we don't like that. And we think that English is a more important language for education, so we're educating them in English. Although we're trying to learn Dutch, really. So, this is some of the photos of our move from France.
Oh, the beauty of
We were in a tiny one-bedroom apartment. It was very difficult. It was in winter. God provided a house for us. It's a miracle, a long story. But the Dutch, they don't give you floors. So it took 2 weeks to put in floors and paint the walls, and it was a big job actually. That's what the subfloor looks like. That's our laundry room. That's in our shower stall. She was playing around. That's the house the Lord provided for us, but it's very big by European standards. Hall. It's a big tourist attraction. Homeschooling. Body training. The kids play baseball, which is called honkbal in Dutch. These are some of our students for fellowship at our house. Local pool. This was a faculty retreat. That's it. I'm not graduating, but the professors are behind the students. This is the dean. Alex teaches New Testament. So graduating class again. So it's a really beautiful place. We consider ourselves very blessed and fortunate to live in the Netherlands.
This is just a card, Jeremy, for you and your family and something from our platform. Okay, we just appreciate you and your ministry. We do pray for you very much.
Yeah, please, if you don't get our updates, please come see us. We'd love to take down your emails and stay in touch.
Okay, you're dismissed. Communicate with Susie and Debbie will make the
If you had a lost and found for Bibles, where would it be? If you left it somewhere up here?
If here, yeah, they probably just leave them right there.